Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dragon Memoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, too bad. We started and we like it, so we're gonna play it. But fortunately for you, depending on where you're watching this, you have a choice either to your right or to your left. Other suggestions. I invite you to go there and find something that you actually enjoy. Otherwise, if you're here because you actually want to be here, because you thought that our previous sessions were fun, someone told you that we were fun to watch, even though I seem to be distracted right beside me because my iPad, it keeps acting up and I can't see. Here we go. I can see now that we're live. So if you actually want to be here because you had fun watching us, someone told you that it was fun, or just because you like Dungeons and Dragons, and right now it's the only one, it's the first one that came in recommended on the side of your screen, well, no matter the case, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. If you're new, like I said, it's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're not new, welcome back. And if you like the ambience that you're hearing with the wolf and the campfire, Ambient Mixer! You can find information below to see where you can get ambience like this. You can make them, download them, see what other people made. You only have to pay when you download it. It is 98% of their content is royalty free. So just make sure that you read the footnote at the end of whatever you're making to make sure that you're taking royalty-free content. But so long as you use it as a background and not monetize it, you should be fine. All right. So, and of course, our friend at Ikigai that actually. This time I did remember to send them an invite before we started talking. So, if you're from there, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Say something in the chat. I know you won't, but never lose anything from asking. Because apparently from the statistic of the channel, there are a whole lot of people... Hey! Oh, it's... There's a whole lot of people watching us that aren't following. Come on, it doesn't cost anything. It helps me morally. I feel like I'm doing something that people like. Yeah, that's about it. That's all the publicity we have. And for some reason, Tobiashi's camera is slightly weird. It's not stabilizing into something bigger.
That's just his face.
Let's see if we can't get his camera to work properly. I know, he just disappeared from the screen. Unlock it. And there you go. That should be better. Now you're taking the entire screen. And then in 5 minutes it's going to restabilize itself and it's going to take half of the screen from Remy and half of the screen from audience and I'll have to do it all over again. So...
Because we're just constantly fighting for screen time.
Exactly. Alright. So, last episode. In case you weren't there, or you have a short-term memory. The party told their tale of adventures in a strange realm to their adventurer friend inside of the Tavern of the Garden. After a masterful performance by accompanied by Remy, who provided special effects but inspired by the Silver-Tongued Bard and his own partner. The tale was told of their bravery and their accomplishment, and the audience did even more to try and push the name of Time Knights as the name of the party. By the way, I'm still waiting for that introduction music.
Finals can wait.
Yeah, who cares about that? We want our introduction music. Where was I? Oh yeah. Wanted to be called Time Knight. Once this tale was done and everyone was surprised and impressed and a free round of drinks was offered, heads of the garden asked the audience to go back to the knowledge quarter and tell a more detailed version, maybe slightly less poetic version also, of what happened. So, after he took a few drinks, he gathered everyone except Fisher, who was busy somewhere else, and went down to the huge library of the Knowledge Quarter and told a very detailed version of everything that happened. The adventure they had, the religious unsettling moment he had, which for Jord, Tobiashi, and Remy was a first hearing. None of them knew of the turmoil that brewed inside the audience before that moment, and how brutal gods can be when they're angry, simply by their presence. But they finished telling the story. But while they were there, Fisher had made its way to an infirmary as his extra-dimensional baby worm, Terry, was on the verge of death because he hadn't been eating or drinking in the past nearly 3 days. What Fisher did not realize was that the ribbon was acting like an anti-magic field. An anti-magic field negates even magical object. So, his source of food was negated from the moment the ribbons were placed around it. While he was in there, however, one of their friends and one of audience's mentor was transported inside of the infirmary through emergency teleportation, directly from the world to the infirmary, and Fisher bore witness to the efforts of the personnel of the garden doing its best to assure Tosul's survival. Although they did not manage to wake him up, right now he is still alive, but in an unstable condition. Having heard of that, audience joined Fisher in the infirmary and took a little bit of news and talked with Fisher about where he might have been and what was that place that managed to bring down one of the strongest adventurers of the garden. Once all of this was done, Fisher stayed in the infirmary to take care of his Harry, and audience went back to the tavern and feeling nostalgic, worried about other people he might have grown attached to, decided to go to the quest board and see if anyone else was missing, dead, or maybe just what kind of quest they were on. as his feeling started to settle down and realize that, alright, no one else is in danger, he turned around and found himself facing Core approaching. And this is where we left off, with audience having a moment of, someone just dropped a rock in my stomach, and wondering what's gonna happen with that rock. And so, this is where we left off. So, Jorg.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna be mean about this. I'm not gonna do the same thing as they do on television. Oh, what's gonna happen to that person? Meanwhile, what are you doing? But to be fair, Jorg and Tobiyashi, you most likely, and probably Remy, I don't remember exactly where you went. Oh, yeah, I believe you were opening your 3 stolen object while this is happening. So, probably Remy, you and Jorg and Tobiyashi, you'd be somewhere in the tavern when this happens. I'd just like to know, on which floor are you exactly? The busiest of the floor, the ground floor, where there is the stage and where you can order drinks and food. The middle floor, the one where usually people go to watch what's happening below, but have a little bit of quietness. Or the top floor, where the quest board is, and unless there's someone who is consulting the quest board or peeing in a plant, it's usually pretty quiet.
Are you asking Remy?
I'm asking all 3 of you where each of one
Okay, so
are
last thing
of you are.
Last thing I was doing was I was by the bar and I just bought audience a drink. And that's when he got his drink taken away, or someone was walking towards him.
All right. Your microphone is a little bit soft.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I'll fix it.
Okay, so Tobiyashi's on the first floor, probably waiting for her audience to come back down.
Mm-hmm.
Jorg?
I think Jorg would also be on the first floor.
Remy?
I think Remy climbs to the second floor because obviously the person of interest isn't on the first floor.
All right, well, in that case, you'd probably notice audience distractingly going to the 3rd floor after his trip to the infirmary. So would you follow him, or would you just stay on that floor and open up your things?
Nah, he'd hunt up you, go to the 3rd floor.
But you'd stay slightly on the side to just watch him while you're opening your things.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, much.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, so Jorg and Tobiyashi on the first floor, Remy on the 3rd
Yep.
floor, watching audience from one eye and watching his prize from the other. And so, Remy, you'd be the only one who see, actually, Core making its way toward audience. When you notice him first, audience has his back turned and is still watching the quest board. But as you see audience turn around, feeling a little reassured, you see his eyes perceive Core arriving with a determined face, sorry. And then you, having studied audience so closely in the past few months, you recognize this moment in his eyes where it says, oh shit. And audience, you see Core arriving right next to you as you're sipping your drink sort of had, I believe you stop at this reflex of presenting your glass toward your mug toward him. So you see him, he is very serious, very not playing. Usually see him very jovial, but right now he is not. And he walks next to you at a distance that can feel very uncomfortable because he's in reach.
I don't think I'd find it that uncomfortable because just of the Dragonborn culture of usually standing very close or having more like that wouldn't be as much of a. But
Okay.
I wouldn't feel that uncomfortable, at least with this space.
All right, so he gets right up next to you. And as he's looking at you very, very sternly, you make a dexterity saving throw.
I make a dexterity saving throw. Got it. Okay. That is a 15.
Okay. His reaction comes so fast, you don't see it coming at all. You have this moment of about to say something, and it's like trying to see lightning. His punch just goes from where he is and inside your stomach, and
Said he was gonna get Will Smith.
no, if Will Smith had
Get
done that,
slapped.
the other person would have died.
Core doesn't seem like the slapping type.
No. Well, he slaps with his hand closed. The punch strikes you in your stomach for 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god.
Ow.
You have this moment of, oh, that's not so bad. I've felt worse. That's just a glimmer of thought appearing in your mind. And then suddenly you feel this wave of thunderous power going from his fist right into your guts. And it feels like someone pushed your entrails out of your body. You take 36 points of thunder damage.
Oh, okay.
Fuck.
He just
Jesus
murdered.
Christ.
That's alright.
Can you hear that?
Yes, because
I'm gonna
it goes
respond.
boom really hard on the
Yeah.
first floor. Jorg and Tobiashi, you hear it. Just this. Remy, you
Yeah, audience would probably drop to his knees from that.
okay?
Taking 3/4 of my HP and a punch to the gut.
A god
Probably.
couldn't get you to your knees, but Core.
Well, it's more the surprise, and also that's like being like, imagine someone punching you in the stomach. That I mean, if you're punching
Yeah.
something, you already double over. If
Yeah,
someone punches you that hard, you're probably going down.
Well, I'm not saying that it's unreasonable to go down here. I'm more remarking on Core's power.
The punch was
Audience
maximum
makes
damage.
little-
The thunder
little
damage
sound
was
of
not.
when you're just like, just like,
Um,
the gas of air. leaving
Having heard someone getting punched in the stomach really hard, what you hear is probably because the air in your lungs just left on their own. The shockwave resonating inside of your body.
Did we hear that it's audience?
No, but you heard that really strong explosion, and Remy, you've never seen audience drop after a single punch. Although you've also never heard something go boom after punching.
Audience looks right now like he may have actually never taken that much damage from a single blow before in the entire time that you've known him.
Instinctively, you look up just in case there is another blow coming. But you hear Kor say, "That's for the life you took." And then when you look up, instead of seeing another punch coming, you see his hand extended toward you, as if to help you get up.
I'll kind of try and get my I kind of hold up. I'm like, give me a second. Give me a second. See, you're not pleased.
Well, his hand is... He extends his hand as if to help you get up.
I mean, at this point, yeah, I guess I'll take his hand.
And
The
then
moment...
he picks you up and he throws you over his shoulder.
The moment you take his hand, he helps you up and he says, "And that's for the life you saved." He puts his arm around your shoulder and says, "I think you have a drink waiting for you downstairs. You look like someone who needs it."
Yeah. Got a good hand there, buddy.
You get the feeling that that's as far as his beef is going to go.
That's good. I don't think I can survive one beef.
As Remy, you're watching this incredible punch and this really odd moment of fraternity between warriors. And you hear, as they're approaching, audience having trouble walking, you hear Kor saying, "Are you actually the one who delivered the final blow?"
No. That would have been that would have actually been a Jorg with a sacred flame. the final strike.
Oh no.
I see. How strong do you think his stomach is? As he's helping you walk down the stairs.
I would say, I think that Jorg may not understand the camaraderie of a warrior striking another warrior and then helping him up as well as I do. He may not take it as well.
He may die.
Well, not even from that point, more from the point of this has literally like happened to me before.
Okay.
I mean, never to this degree. But like
Most
I
likely.
understand
Don't have
warriors.
the warrior clan. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've never been almost killed by it, but I have
mean-
experienced it before.
I mean, just for what it's worth, Raimi still would have been alive after that punch, so...
But your insides really would have been outside of your body.
I would have.
No, there's probably like a full like just bruise over audience like abs right now. Like just a fist size like bruise.
your six
I have
pack has
18 hit
swollen a
points.
little bit.
I would die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jorg would have been actually pretty good, just half health.
Meanwhile, actually, now I'm thinking about it, like, also there's like a side part of Raimi's brain that goes like, wait a minute, you can use Booming Blade on soft things?
So
That's what it sounded like.
well, it sounded like more like Thunderwave, but still, yeah, it can work.
Or Shatter.
Yeah, or Destructive Wave. Probably Jorg and Tobiashi. It takes a moment before. What was that explosion? There's no alarm inside the garden, so it's not one of the gnomes. Then after a few moments, you see audience accompanied by Kor.
I'm like, yeah, I just look over at Jorg. I'm like, seems about right. And I'll take another drink of what I'm drinking.
Seems about right.
Seems about right.
Core lets you sit down at the table.
I will slump.
Uh,
Oh.
Jorg will run over and not heal him because I don't want to make him look weak, but he'll sit close by until Core goes away.
Well, Core goes to the counter to get 3 drinks.
Quick while he's distracted.
Jorg, I'll just turn to Jorg.
Ow!
You might want
What
to
are
be
you
careful
aiming
what
at?
you say to Court tonight. I think I covered for you enough that he might not hit you, but I would be very careful with how you speak to him.
I'm gonna save my level 4
Bruh.
slot.
What the fuck?
Then
I'll bring my drink and go next to them. I want to sit there too.
That's whack.
Audience, you can have. Okay, it's only 14 hit points back, but it's 14 hit points back.
I appreciate it. Audience will also, as he's sitting there, use his 35.
My phone.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw, but my
35
my
points,
right
so that's
connection
75. I'll go
finally
back
came
to
through.
75 HP.
Okay.
So I'll basically full heal myself.
Yeah.
As I rest my hand on my stomach, I will
hey, buff Jin Jungle.
kind of like, it will glow, and you'll see the just at the swelling go down, Audio will start kind of breathing more normally.
Jungle.
He'll be like,
Jingle's
oh,
gonna be so
okay.
good.
Whew. I think you broke 2 of my ribs there.
W reduced cooldown
Damn.
and
What?
or E reduced
What for?
cooldowns. You get on more traps early game. And the
I
and the
assume
two
killing the
points
Blade
you
Master,
are-
but I haven't got the exact details of why he was so upset.
Dude, Jin's gonna clear so
Yeah.
Yeah, we are the.
All
Time
I did
Knights.
was heal during that fight, right? That's what you told him.
No, I said you struck the final blow, he asked.
Mm,
Bruh,
That's why I
and-
said to be careful.
Shut up, why?
okay.
Bruh. And Matt,
But I
you
also
tell him
told
I
him
did
I did
it
like in a nice, honorable way, not
fucking
a lame, boring way.
Like it's better
I told him basically that I told him that you might not take as well to a punch as I do. Like it's not part of your culture.
Okay, thanks. That's
Mhm.
Or
that's
your
hopefully
upbringing.
what we know.
Hey,
As
Buff
you say
Johnson
this,
too.
you see
Yeah, that
Core
should definitely help.
coming back with 3 mugs in his hands.
Yeah, it's an extra
He gives you,
4%
audience,
budget.
1. He puts 1 in front of himself.
Actually,
And the third one he puts down on the table.
I really
And
hope
he
we see
slides
Jin Jungle
toward
at the side.
you, Jorg.
Ooh.
Hopefully nothing with Jin Jungle.
Thank you,
He's-
Core.
Make a wisdom check for me, please.
Oh, not saving throw. Just
No,
check.
check.
Which would be- Also a 19. Cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You have
It was
this
very
moment
valuable.
of you watch the mug being slide toward
Right,
you,
yes.
and you're looking at Core's eyes, and you've seen this before. It's the eyes
rather
of
encourage
a
you to support.
very dangerous predator looking at you. You sort of have a feeling you have a
I have
choice.
played Jorg
The
before in my
glass
lifetime.
or what audience had.
I'll
You have
take the
Jorg,
glass.
you have Chop,
Thank
you
you,
got Jin.
Core.
you got Jingle, and then you got
Means
Jin.
a lot.
Yeah, it's Jin. Made it,
Core
made Jin
looks
Jin.
at you, audience. He looks at Jorg. Well, you have to drink it like a real warrior.
Ooh.
I'm mouthing down it.
Yeah, that's
Jorg.
oh, Jin.
I'll
Got
do it.
Jin,
I
Yeah.
take it
Jin,
and I just bottoms up and I
Jingle.
chug the whole thing.
He does the same with you.
I'm just sitting at the table like, ooh.
Jorg,
Do not.
make a Constitution
do not
saving
ban
throw.
My Jin Jungle.
Constitution saving throw, huh? 18.
I need my Jin Jungle.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You
Feeling good.
immediately understand why the choice was between that and what audience had. Because although the taste of it isn't too bad, it feels really hot in your mouth, and there's some sort of spice spice in it. It feels like someone is removing the inside of your mouth with a knife. But as it goes down, it feels like you're trying to swallow a rock, but when it falls into your stomach, you're wondering if this is how it feels.
To chew 5 gum.
If they were made of pure lava.
Oh god, I haven't thought of 5 gum in ages.
I don't remember a lot of those commercials.
I just remember the memes.
Stimulate your senses.
Definitely.
Oh,
It burns. It burns so bad.
is this a...
No, you don't actually get to talk, because whenever you try and talk, it just goes... and there's tears going down your eyes. And you can just
is when you
think
find
about
out.
one thing. Is it gonna hurt as much when it comes out?
This is when you find out that you had to choose between a punch in the stomach from the outside or the inside.
Exactly!
Yep.
That was the intent.
I could heal a punch in the stomach from the outside.
But it would probably be some sort of lesser or greater restoration to get that out of your system. You've never drank something that is that powerful. You feel the alcoholic element in it, but those spices, you're not sure where they're coming from. You'd even go so far as to guess they're not from this world. They're probably from a very bad shard that you really never want to experience by yourself.
Ooh.
But you rolled so high that just like audience, you managed to weather this down. Although you have a feeling that you probably look like what audience looked like when you saw him come down the stairs. But it's gonna die down after maybe, you're hoping, after a good 15 minutes.
Is my drink normal?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'll just try to say bread. Bread. I'll just down audience's drink, actually.
Audience, you will not have the chance. Audience would have downed his drink if you downed yours.
What
Oh
is
god,
this
I want to see
following?
that athletics check.
When audience, while you're drinking your glass,
Michael,
your
Michael.
mug,
We'll get
you
this-
see
we'll get
that
this team call.
Core has a smile on his face, and he turns toward
Nowhere-
you
no one
and
is where they're
asks you,
supposed to be.
"You think he's gonna try and drink some water?"
Only one in his correct lane.
Uh-oh.
I think he's gonna do something.
Yeah, if there's water around, I'd try to drink it. But I want bread or milk.
Or
Is there water around?
Oh, no. I'm going to turn into a bird. Birds don't get affected by spice.
You can reduce damage to the monster can. It's right.
You try to go into a bird form?
Yeah, I'll do it.
For some reason,
away.
the pain gets even worse. So now you have a confirmation. It's not spices.
Those are fun.
All right.
Also, for some reason, the size of it did not change. You're a very big belly bird.
Audience is now confused. He's just looking at Jorg like, why did Jorg turn into a bird? Is he trying to fly away from the spice? Is it a mental activity?
Core
I'll-
looks at you and says, maybe it's a natural reflex.
Well,
just the pain shocking
Wow.
me into bird.
The pain doesn't cause you loss of hit points.
Yeah, I know.
It could.
yeah.
I could give you an exhaustion point though.
Oh man.
It is taking a lot out of your body to metabolize that. You're sweating. You're having trouble thinking clearly. You have a feeling that you just lost for the next 15 minutes the ability to cast the highest level of your spells. Too much concentration. Too much concentration. It hurts so bad.
Well, I guess I'll turn back into a human and just grope helplessly at audience.
Dorg, do you need something to drink or eat?
I'll nod vigorously.
Okay. I'm not gonna go get him water because I feel like that was a
Thank
setup from Core.
Any more leashing?
But I will go get him. I will go get him. I heard him kind of seeming to gasp bread, so I'll go get him some bread. And I don't know.
Do you
What's
say
slightly-
out loud you think that he was saying bread?
Yes.
Core will say maybe he was trying to say beer.
I'll shake my head.
Actually,
No, I think it was bread.
I'll nod.
I'll go get you some bread, George.
And beer.
Okay, I guess I'll grab both. I'll go grab some bread and beer first.
Is what I'm not doing.
Man, pregnant men have weird cravings.
I'll go get him a Guinness. He can have both.
But it feels like to drive a Ford F-150.
It doesn't take long. You have a good loaf of bread and a mug of some sort of beer. Apparently, Core said that whatever you'd ask was going to be free tonight, so...
Oh, thanks, Core. That means a lot.
I don't even need somebody.
Tobiyashi, as you're watching this incredible moment of
I'm just like crying.
male bonding, you want to say?
Male bondage, more like.
Wow. I'm just there eating my my bar peanuts. There's always bar peanuts.
Well, it's the garden. There's bar something. It's weird. It's little brown dots.
Okay. Wait. That's questionable. As I'm watching, I would think about intervening. Then I'm just like, nah. I'm pretty beat up right now. I don't think I could do anything. And I'll just continue to drink my beer. I will. I guess. What should I do? I guess I'll go over there and join them.
Okay.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
It's a dangerous table.
I'll bring my brown dots with me.
There you go.
They're the size of pistachios, but they're completely brown. Dark brown.
Okay. Nice. I'm just throwing them into my mouth while I'm walking over there.
There's a gnome close by who just watches you eating them up, and from time to time you see him go...
God damn it, what am I eating? You know what, I'm already eating them. I don't care anymore. It's already happening. I'd go over and talk to Jorg. I'm like, hey Jorg, how you doing? You guys look like you're having fun over here. Oh. Yeah. What happened to him, audience?
Core gave him a stiff drink.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that'll happen to you. I think the last time I did that, I passed out. But you mind if I take a seat here? I look over at everybody.
I don't. I'm like looking at Core like I'm like, do you want to? I'm looking at Toby like this could be dangerous. You were also involved in the fight.
I think I'll be fine.
Oh, no, I don't say
I'm
it
just
out
coming
loud.
over here. Oh,
I'm giving you an eyes. I'm like, sure what you want?
I just look at him. I'm like, I pull up a seat and I'll sit down.
Core looks at you for a moment. You have this uncomfortable moment of, you know, when you were just starting to learn and you saw one of the highest level master of your monastery sitting right in front of you. You have that feeling right now as Core is watching you with a slight grin on his face.
I'll look back over at Core, and I'll look back over at audience, like super fast, and then I will try to avoid eye contact while I keep eating my my brown dots. I'm munching on these things.
I'll be
What do they
like,
taste
this
like?
is Toby. Core, this is Toby. I don't know if you
See how much
formally
damage
met
that
him.
costs you now.
Not formally, but I remember him breaking his hand trying to break a stone.
Yeah, my
Yes.
hand still kind of hurts from that. Oh, Jesus.
Alright, like this. Alright, like honestly,
That's a
Okay,
nice.
dislocated
That's a
my
nice group you
my
have.
courage not that bad. I'm
You
down to
have
OCS.
courage. You point when he points at you, Jorg.
Right, go.
You have skills, and he points toward you, audience. And you have.
Reckless abandon.
That's actually not a bad description. He points toward Tobiyashi.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I just look over at him. I'm like, eh. Hey, do any of you guys know what these
Yeah,
are?
it's not as good. They're
pretty good.
Oh, you.
I'll roll a nature roll on it, but I don't
want
know.
that eclipse shield.
Let me see. My nature roll on it is.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea what they are. I got a 5.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I've
mainly
never
meat
seen.
store,
I've
but-
never seen them
Wait.
before.
You take them, you look at them, you smell them, you know,
Oh god. Oh,
you know what it looks like, but it doesn't feel
all
like
here.
that
It's
when
a
you
tragedy.
roll them in between your fingers. You want to say it's bunny poop, but it feels wrong. So most likely it's not. Then again, you're
All right.
surrounded by gnomes, so who knows?
I'm just gonna kind of put it down and be like, yeah, you know, if you're enjoying it, enjoy it. I would
All
never
right.
put it in my mouth, but
So
I'm just drinking and eating now.
you're starting to get an interesting group.
yes, we are expanding. I guess we are a solid group now.
That is true.
Bruh.
Well,
That
there's
still
still
kinda
the
freaks me out.
silent one
Alright,
that's
am I oh wait, he came
watching you all from the top floor right now.
back. Yeah. I thought you wouldn't get
I
no.
assume he means Remy, so I'm just gonna assume Remy's up there.
Remy, as you
No,
look
for
down,
sure.
you notice that, alright, audience is good.
Yeah.
Relatively
Dorf
speaking.
looks sicker.
At least he looks safe and alive. You saw Jorg drink something and suddenly turn red, having problems speaking. You think maybe now he knows a bit more about how you feel all the time. And try and turn into a bird. And then go... Well, I'm not sure if you went back to your normal self after that.
I did.
And then go back to normal and still have problem digesting whatever he just drank. Interesting show. Is there something you'd like to do?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have his face. So I'm
Just
just like,
you know what? If somebody actually does like look up toward him, I suppose he'll just like give like a small talon wave. But but for some reason, Raimi just says like maybe I shouldn't go near this man for a bit. He seems like a shark on the hunt.
I've been fine so far.
Well, that's all right. You already felt pain before, so
Yeah.
if you remember correctly, he's the one who told you that you were all brawn and no brain, all guts and no brain, rather.
Yeah. Thank you. No,
Also, speaking of your comment about like punching the rock, wasn't that literally a week ago?
I punched the. Oh, well, in this time, would it be? Yeah, it would be like a week ago.
About 6 days ago.
So
He
it's
was
about
sitting there
so it's
broken
still
now.
fresh in everyone's memory. Your
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you did just go break the rock again because he came back and tried to break it. So you're
Yeah,
probably
I
actually
went and broke
concerned.
it.
Except you have your own fist.
No,
You remember
no,
how
no,
it felt when you just broke the rock? You heard that little boom when you struck it, and you were all, yeah! Then you think about how audience looked when he came back down, and you had that moment
Who
of,
was my third kill?
oh, my glove aren't that impressive.
Actually, yeah, they all for Velcon.
They'll get better with
Boy.
age.
Nah, I'm just bullying Velcon, I guess.
All
I
right.
am gonna turn to Core on a more serious, like my face, and I'll just be like, I would like to clarify with you, from the little bit I know of Blade Masters that I've learned from Tisul, were you angered by the death of the blade or
Still
the
here.
death of the warrior who wielded it?
Our community is not that big. The death of a single warrior is always something to be mindful of.
Fuck.
This is why we protect ourselves, especially those who manage to survive in times of war. So the death of a warrior
Oh,
at the hand of an entire group,
no. I would have
it's just
died.
wrong.
Living is hype.
But like you said, he was forced to fight all of you by something that desecrated his blade.
What are these items?
So you did him a favor in killing him.
And
And
if
for
it means
that-
anything,
I do thank you.
I think he was holding back too.
If he was,
Wouldn't
then
be
it
surprised if
was
he was
not an
fine.
honorable death.
Let's go. I can go buy
Oh.
Eclipse.
He
I
would
do
have
not
given
believe
Oh,
everything.
let's go gang.
I do
Go
not
Jack.
believe he was holding back, George.
Okay.
It was not an honorable fight. Then I will now punch you twice as hard.
We learned a lot from the last war. It had been a while since the world had been at war. We realized that many of our techniques had suffered from not being challenged for far too long. Fighting among ourselves, taking up small challenges, thinking that we were the superior warriors. Within a few years, we saw that we weren't the warrior we thought we were. After the end of the first cycle, it had become clear that we became complacent. Sorry, I'm having trouble pronouncing this one. Complacent, I think, of everything we were. Many things changed after that war. Techniques, philosophies, some were abandoned, some were refined, some were invented to prevent something exactly like this.
I see.
Yep.
Did you hear? Have you heard that Tasul is in the infirmary right now?
I have.
Hope he is able
I think
to
I just think they were going.
bolster him. He's a strong warrior. I'd hate to lose him.
If he's strong enough, he will survive. If he's not, he died on a quest. Or from the consequences of a quest.
It's fine. What are they gonna
On
do?
its own?
Fight the gy-
It's not as good as dying
Use
on the
yourself.
battlefield, but it's not a bad death.
Yo!
I never asked who won the duel.
Fuck
between
him up!
Between him and who?
Cor and Tasul.
Where are
It
they?
was a close match. But he still needs a few years.
I was the.
But it was a very close match. I haven't had a lot of opportunities to test my skill against those with the philosophy of fire.
Give me a break.
That is a challenging fight. They really specialize in group
It still has
combats,
the David nerf.
just like fire.
Once these David nerfs,
It's
are taken
dangerous
off,
to
I'm
attack them. They tend to retaliate more than be the first one to attack. Those of the earth philosophy, like me, tend to attack first. Burst through enemy lines. A lot of people call us unstoppable forces. The third philosophy,
I play this too much.
the one of air, or storm as some call it. This is
Yeah.
the most fluid one. They rely mostly on finding ways around problems. They're extremely agile. Some of them can nearly fly.
Make Jin Jungle
Interesting.
better, and they said sure, my brother.
It is part of also of their path to master lightning.
Well, I appreciate that. I love playing school.
You would. He slaps you on the shoulder. Bit hard, but you know, score.
Take 17 points of damage.
And then another 36 left.
Oh, there's only so much I can do in that spot.
Yeah. Maybe one day you'll get to meet all three of our philosophy. Those that follow the air, they're a bit more rare.
Is there anybody who's mastered all of them?
No. It's impossible to master all three of them. They oppose one another in many ways. Meaning if you master one, you will not be able to master another. Someone that masters the philosophy of earth will attack their enemy, plow through them. But the philosophy of fire is more about waiting for the enemy to strike at you, and then just like a fire, hurt anyone that tries to touch you. So those philosophies exclude one another.
Unless, of course, you have the Avatar.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah. You know, he's the only one who was able to master all 3 archetype of the Blade Master.
The audience is tempted to be like, has anyone created the secret water's philosophy yet?
This is for taking my Raptors early game.
But he's not going to do that.
Okay.
Turn, Woo, turn!
The water philosophy. Well, are we gonna order more drinks or just sit around and? Because my cup's empty.
That root, though.
That's a good idea.
That root was so hot.
Something good for everyone. He turns toward the desk as he's saying so.
Oh god.
Avoid water. The nature-loving one is not going to survive this.
Everyone's not going to survive this. Oh no.
Oh no.
What does water do?
You ask?
Just expands.
I'm sure I'll
God.
ask. I'll be like, what would water do to Jorg?
You ever tried to extinguish an oil fire with water?
I see. Actually, do I see? I don't know if I see. I don't
How
see.
does he spend time in the kitchen?
Audience is not. No, actually, wait. Audience was a cook. He probably would know that.
Do you even put
Yeah.
points into your two in that build?
Audience would actually know about that. He was like, I see.
I would explode.
But because you rolled so low, it takes a moment. You sort of get a. Oh yeah, that's right.
Start bubbling over.
So, from your perch, Remy, I imagine you look at this and you probably heard what Core said about the Blade Masters, as you're pretty perceptive and he's not discreet in any way. So his voice carries. But
The physics in this place are fantastic.
But as things seems to die down and Tobiyashi enjoys a few drink, Jorg sheepishly eventually tries a drink of something when the fire dies down inside of his stomach, and you realize what Core said about if you had drank water, it would have just did the same thing as an oil fire. Remy, you have your moment of quietness, as anything feels quiet after all of this. And so, do you take the time to see what you have in those 3 pouches that you took?
Yep, that's what he'd be doing, and he's at least hopefully in a place in the that's somewhat discreet, but
Well, you were already about to do this before, but now it feels like everyone's paying more attention to Core, Audience, Jorg, and Tobiyashi. But you could always, just in case, try and make your way to your own room and open them there. You know, because of things that happened in the past, that gnomes aren't allowed to spy inside rooms. This, your private rooms. They're annoyed by it, but
after a certain incident, but yeah, just like yeah, I think in the end he would make his way back to his room, but just but making sure to give audience a wave Jorg head tilt and just walks past Tobiyashi.
I knew it. I knew it.
Cold.
Poor Tobiyashi. No one
I just look
likes
at him as he walks off. Like,
Look, he's had a lot of Tobiyashi this past week, and that week
He
was
has.
longer than most other people's week.
And you know, Tobiyashi had a hard day, also a hard week, not knowing what was going on, and
It's one of those situations where it's like, look, you either killed a man on purpose or by accident. Pick one.
can't tell everybody that I killed a man.
well,
Maybe.
technically, your action killed two people, one in the dream and one outside of the dream.
Oh yeah. Huh. Okay, I accidentally killed the second person, so I did both.
The other one,
Accident.
well, you know, the first one you killed in combat, so it was fairly quick. The other one got eviscerated because everyone thought there was a parasite inside of his gut. So this one died very slowly and painfully because of you. So you have both extremities.
I'm just drinking the pain away now. I'm crying because Remy didn't do anything to me.
Like I said, he's just had a little bit too much Tobiyashi this very long week.
All right.
That was
It has
extended by an extra like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Especially long for 1 week.
Oh, the week you had, you was inside
Actually, I guess
the dream
I
was
guess like if
actually
we
6
put
days.
it all together, I think it's like nearly 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had 6 weeks outside of the dream and 6 days outside of the dream and 6 days inside of the dream.
Okay, so yeah, then this week really does feel twice as long.
It was about 2 weeks.
Nearly. So, the evening keeps on going, and unless you want to ask something to Core or do something very specific before that day ends, it feels like a lot happened during that day, and the day is furnished well enough to end on this pleasant, although gut-hurting evening for audience and Jorg.
I like the term gut wrenching.
I would be totally done. I don't think there's anything else specific I would want to do.
Okay.
I just want to play drinking games with everybody. Just a bunch of people in the tavern if they don't want to play.
Oh, Core is always up to it, but
Let's go.
as a monk,
I
and
want to play quarters.
as a monk, and knowing that part of Core's training is very similar to that of a monk, you sort of feel like he might have a very big advantage for drinking games.
That is true. Yeah, no, I'll do it. We'll play quarters, and then we'll do ale pong, and then maybe what's some other drinking games we could do? Never have I ever. No, I'm just playing. Okay, so no,
Yeah, be careful about that one.
And yeah,
No, maybe you want to play this, but not with Core. You should play this with gnomes.
oh yeah, that sounds fun. Well, I'd invite people from other tables too. We get the whole bar in on it. Well, the whole tavern.
Oh goodness, the type of questions that you could ask with this with gnomes, and you're gonna have so weird response.
They drink half of it.
Never have I ever done a trapeze act while on top of a burning tire.
No gnomes raise their hand.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, so
Get super drunk and pass out. Chugging competitions and shot races. Yeah.
Toby, we do have to leave for a quest tomorrow. You do remember this, right?
Tomorrow? Why tomorrow? Oh, come on.
Alright, so I'm dragging Toby out of bed.
Damn it.
So just when
Like,
you
no, let me back in. I haven't won. God damn it.
I've been playing against Core for the past 15 minutes. I haven't won once. Please let me try again.
Please let me play more.
Toby, roll a con save, and I'll tell you if I'll let you keep playing.
Oh, I don't have my acceleration on. Oh, there it goes. It's going super slow. I'll get back to you in 5 years.
Alright.
Over the jingle.
Woo-wee! That's the best roll anybody could have rolled in the world. I rolled a natural one.
Boring.
+2.
I went 13 on the jingle.
So, audience, basically, you have the perfect example of what happens when you drink
The other two
excessively
said I was
strong alcohol
Okay,
while only have eaten little brown dots. You see him take 2 shots and fall completely drunk on the third one. Head first on the table. You hear Core, and the evening goes on.
I assume if he was rolling that one at that point and kept drinking, I will be fireman's carrying Toby back to his room.
You see my arm while I'm sleeping. I'm just like trying to reach for my mug. I can still go. I got this.
Here, Toby, I got you. I'll hand him my mug, but make it have 0 alcohol content but still taste like alcohol.
As you're taking him to his room, you see a gnome following him with a large jug open right under his head as he seems to be waiting
Why
for...
are people collecting my fluids?
He seems to be waiting for him to
death.
vomit.
I'll roll to see if I vomit.
First I'm gonna turn to the gnome. I'm gonna be like, that's gonna be a gold piece if you want to collect that.
That's a natural 20. I don't vomit.
Well, he gives you a gold piece, but by the time you get to his room, he says, he didn't. I want to have my gold piece back.
That's the risk you took, and you lost.
You see him look at you with angry eyes. No one said it was going to be that.
Experimentation is all about wins and failures. As a gnome, you should know that. This was a failure. I'm sure you will soon have a success.
In 2 days, the gnome's gonna invent something to make somebody vomit, so that he never loses again.
Turns around. That's right, you understand Gnomish. He turns around, takes an orb, shakes it a little bit.
Crappy.
You hear him whisper, collect
Is it just
everything
to talk
that
about
goes
One
into
Piece?
his bathroom. I paid for it.
Alright, I'll tell you right now.
Audience goes like, you know what? You know what?
I'll tell
In my
you.
bathroom? How's he gonna get in my room?
The bathroom
God
is
damn it.
outside. Like I said in the
Oh,
description, there's a bathroom every
I
2
read my
doors.
chapter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Audience is gonna like half his mouth to say something, just be like, nope,
It's not a good thing.
not deal with it.
And so, the evening goes by like this. Fisher in the infirmary. There's no evolution on Tusul's condition. You can feel that everyone is very worried about him. He's still in critical condition. Unless you start asking questions, however, you're not going to get a whole lot more details about him. You have Terry, that it seems to be slowly trying to recover. Just like someone who has been severely dehydrated and was starting to get fairly hungry. He's weak. He's just sipping water and pushing a little bit of food in his mouth using his telekinetic ability. But you'd be confident that he's going to pull through, although it might be a bit of a traumatic experience for him. And you can't help to wonder, well, how is he going to write that down? Because if the wrappings were acting like a anti-magic field, it means he hasn't written anything in 3 days. His only ability to write depends on his ability to use telekinetic power, and this would also have been cancelled.
Well, it looks like Terry went to Coachella again.
I think you're muted.
I think I'm just
Aha.
being there.
Okay.
Don't feel like he could really do anything.
Like I said, he's sipping water. He looks to be a bit better. You know, like someone who went from drinking water from an ice cube to be able to sip it through a straw. But the evolution is not all that fast. He was extremely exhausted by this. But now it has become obvious that he needs a new box because he bore a hole through his old one trying to get out.
Well, supposedly that's in the works, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna be sitting there going through the language primer that he was given.
All right. And there's always that
Hello.
letter you said you were gonna work on that I never got.
Yeah. Does from what I know of how it sees, it can't like read something on paper, right?
Unless you're using something very fragrant, he's not gonna be able to distinguish anything. Maybe if you use a very magical ink, something that's gonna radiate energy, he will be able to see it on a piece of paper, but his perception of things does not depend on reflection of light. So there needs to be
either a physical like elevation difference or some other.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He has the other four senses, and technically what we'd call the sixth sense, but for him it's his fifth sense.
That way, I think I'd really just try working on a way to translate the like language primer I have onto or into a form that it can read.
Okay.
Into a different medium.
So basically you're trying to learn and translate a little bit.
I think it's more that Fisher recognizes that Terry is much better at languages than he is. And while he is trying to learn it, he thinks it'd be a lot faster if he could find a way to help Terry learn
common.
Okay.
Through some different medium than just like ink on a paper.
Okay, well, the two other ways of communication he's used is through scent and energy, how you can call it, the way that Theag has taught him to communicate by showing the stars. Because it uses an illusion, it's something that he can perceive, the different shape of the illusion.
I think it would be more just something closer to like Braille, just to give, but like literally just like what they would do before Braille was invented, where they just do big block letters, and essentially do that to try and translate that to like its writing with its acid, because that's also a 2D written form, or technically 3D, but
okay. It's still going to take a lot of time because you have to work with a translated version of his language and then the original version and try to figure out what is a word and is that word actually the word you're thinking of, trying to find other example of this word being used in this way. So it's it's a pretty painstaking endeavor that you're taking on.
Hold on. Yeah, no, he's gonna get a little bit into that, give up, and then decide he's just gonna learn magic better.
All right. So, but yeah, roll an investigation roll for me, please.
It's a nat 20 or
Go.
26.
Okay, that noise can either go one direction or the other with you. So.
Yeah.
So, although you do not manage to create this cipher between languages that you originally wanted, because you start reading more about everything that he says and thinks, you do catch on to a few things. First of all, the word that you taught him, the word that you were teaching him through knocking, one of them doesn't mean the same thing as what you thought it did. The word safe, he thinks it means not imminent danger.
I believe that was in Raimi's translation.
Well, you have a translation of his log, so by reading how it's translated, you would see this. Remy does have the exact same translation on his side. He just took it a different way than yours. Because of comprehend language, you can actually read it, but you need the common translation of it. During the last few days, he seems to have made a bit of a bond with Orunak. He seems to be very thrilled about the concept of Arunac's language. Something based on scent and the sound of creaking wood. And it's quite literally the only reference to him hearing something distinct. That grinding sound, that creaking sound that tree makes when they are moving because of the wind. And it does remind you of a few moments where Terry seemed to have reacted when he was hearing the construct language and when he was hearing Earthen language, because of their resonating element, grinding or resonance. So he can understand this on some level.
With Terranad's ability to do, obviously you can do construct for primordial, would that be able to do the same earth specific dialect or whatever it is of primordial, or is it too general?
Well, it's like saying you know how to read and write the extremely academic English language of England, and then being thrown in Australia and say, well, it's just a branch of your language.
Mm-hmm.
Understand it. Well, there are elements that are common to both, and you'd be able to understand someone that is putting effort into avoiding any sort of slang or really strong accent. The moment that you start talking to someone who is not paying attention to this element of conversation, you start having trouble understanding what they're trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is that difference? Do I think that difference is what Terry can pick up on? As in, like, so the regular primordial he wouldn't be able to hear.
Actually,
but
because of your natural 20, what you think he understand is the grinding and resonating element of it. It's a sound he can perceive above the background noise. It's not a language he can understand, but he perceives it. He finds it easier to perceive it compared to when you're talking.
Mm-hmm. And that, if I remember correctly, that's essentially also kind of what construct is, except with metal instead of...
On a sound level, yeah. Not on a syntax level. The language are very different from one another.
Yeah, but on a Terry being able to perceive it,
yeah,
as a
it's
spoken...
because of that grinding element that vibrates, that vibration. That's the word I was looking for. It's the element of strong vibration that he can perceive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I will.
And in the past few days, he thinks that Remy is very confusing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember reading the previous diary entries.
One thing that you did not realize about Terry, especially when you start reading the last few entries, the first 3 days of your escapade in the dream, he actually did write a few things on it. And he has written about hearing a song. as if someone was singing from very far away and directly in his mind. And his own word described the song as being the most fascinating and beautiful song he has ever heard. It was bewitching.
Does anything that description match anything it wrote about when we encountered the green gem?
No. The green gem sort of had a visceral pull on him. But this is Siren Song beauty.
Oh, yeah.
And no, not the siren that we were talking about before the stream started.
Yeah, I think I'd just be studying this stuff. I might start just absently chatting in construct to it. Just to... Says seems to be a potential avenue for verbal-ish communication. So starting to get it possibly more familiar with it.
Okay. You do notice some reactions to the elements of construct language, which are more what's the word in English? Guttural, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, this is as far as you recognize in the way that he hear things. There is a recognition of perceiving it compared to when you're talking and he's just staring
blankly.
Yeah, I was trying to find another word because it doesn't have any eyes, but still, it conveys the message. Just staring blindly in your direction.
I think I'm just hanging out in the med bay all night.
All right. Which means the only one that still needs something is Remy. So, when you arrive into your own little quarters and you recognize everything's there, everything feels safe, you let the door close behind you, you go at the desk or in your bed. You know, some people would rather play with gems on their bed than on the desk. You sit down and you start looking inside of all three pouches.
You've now actually like inspired an image in my mind of just like Raimi casually like making his bed just like full of gems that was like found lying around.
The same way dragons sleep on treasure, you know. Remy's doing the same thing for other reasons. So, you sit down and you have two pouches and one small container. One pouch, just looking at them and jiggling them just a little bit. One pouch, you sort of have this moment of, I know that sounds. It's probably gems inside. You open it up and just like you expected, there is a small amount of gems of varying worth. You have... you remember hearing this, as some people say, where they're from, the people of the garden, their money system is based on gem. So basically, you just have a money purse from someone of the garden. You have. Oh, there we go. We're gonna. How much money does a gnome have? Okay. So you find 8 gems worth 5 gold. I'm giving you the money like this so that you don't need to waste 5 hours going to have them appraised. And you find 10 of them worth 10 gold. And you find 2 of them worth 25 gold. There are a few broken fragments that you feel are probably the equivalent of copper and silvers, but when it comes to selling them, you'd feel that the only place someone would accept broken gems like this is probably in the garden. And since you have not seen anyone with this in their pouches in the garden, it sort of feels like someone would know you took them if you try and sold those broken fragments of gem. But in case you're curious, you find 15 of them that would have a value equivalent to a silver, and 36 of them having the equivalent of 5 copper. In case you find a place where you can sell them. So that's 1 pouch. The other 2 pouches, looking at them, you're sort of confident that this is worth more. Although how much more, you're not completely sure. So you have a pouch and you have a container. Which one do you want to open first? The container was taken on the dwarf and the pouch on the gnome.
We might as well just get the gnomes out of the way.
Okay. You open the little pouch of the other gnome and you find something wrapped in some sort of paper. Here it would be wrapping paper. The one that's really thin and silky. I'm not sure how it's called in English. In French, it's quite literally translates to silk paper, but
We call it.
I mean, silk paper is a thing, so.
Oh.
It's usually the kind of paper that you place in gift bags.
Oh, wrapping
it's
paper?
Tissue
Or tissue paper?
No, it's not a Kleenex. It's really a paper,
Well,
but
no,
you put this.
but we
in.
call
Yeah,
it
like-
tissue paper.
Okay.
It's just really thin, like paper you stuff in the top
Okay.
of the bag.
Oh,
It's not
That's
a tissue.
No, if you're talking about the wrapping paper you use for gifts, we just call it wrapping paper.
Oh, the one that you place usually as decoration inside of a gift bag.
Oh, then that's exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, in French it's called silk paper. It's wrapped in several layers of this very delicate paper, and you peel them off, and when you look at this, originally it just looks like, a very well-carved stone flower. But as you take a moment to look at it, you realize, it's slightly malleable. It looks like a living stone flower.
You know what? That it's weird enough to where Rami would probably spend the 10 minutes to identify it.
Okay. Your identify spell actually confirms exactly that. It comes from a shard, a petrified shard, which is the shard that mainly focuses on stone, acid. It's one that connects with your world. It's literally a stone flower, but a living one, as in it will keep on growing.
Does Rami have any insight on how to take care of a stone flower?
Make an Arcana roll.
Could be better, but 14.
14, alright. You remember hearing the description of the petrified shard, and people describe it as a landscape that was flash petrified. So you actually find cities and forests, but everything's been turned to stone. Quite literally, it seems like by snapping your finger. The prevalent element in this is obviously stone, lightning, and acid. There's a lot of description of very violent dry storm, where it's just lightning moving across the sky, hitting the ground, hitting these massive, jagged pillars of stone and sometimes crystals and minerals, and large pool of silvery acid. So, although you're not all that sure how to keep this alive, having a confirmation that this comes from a place like this, you could deduce that either lightning or some sort of mercury-like acid would be something it would need to stay alive. In what quantity, you're not sure. And where to find them also.
That seems like a research topic. But
So that's the small flower that we have inside the other gnome's pouch.
you can only wonder what this gnome was going to use it for.
Experiment, magical component, simple curiosity, it's a gnome. You also can't help but think, when they realize they don't have it, what are they gonna do? Gnomes are known to get even with pranks. Humiliating pranks. Never dangerous pranks. But humiliating pranks, yes.
There's now a whistling sound in the room as
For the other one, the one in the container, that is the puzzling one. When you open the container, it's a solid metal block. Looking at it more carefully, you see small seams all around the block, and you realize it's a puzzle box. It's an extremely complex puzzle box. Made of apparently solid metal. Not iron. You're not sure what that metal is. It has a very dark indigo color, and the seams seems to denote where you can slide things and slowly take it apart. But you can't pull a piece apart. You can slide it slightly out, shift the position of another one. It's basically a magical Rubik's Cube. Dwarf version. Your identify spell does not pierce through the center. You do not know what is at the center of it. But you have confirmation. It is magical. And it is a puzzle box meant to protect, shield, safeguard something inside. And you have a feeling that there's a dimensional space inside. Not a world, but the object inside is most likely bigger than the cube itself.
Uh-huh. Yes, I will ask, does Raimi get the sense that this is a kind of puzzle that he would actually be able to solve? Because I imagine like he recognizes that there are puzzles out there that are so difficult that it's literally beyond certain individuals to be able to solve it.
Beyond your capabilities, judging from the information that you get from your identify spell, no. But you'd have to get very imaginative, as it is not solely based on how you place the cubes. There are other elements into it. It will react to things that you use on it, to moment when you play with it. It reacts to outside stimuli on top of playing with the different shape it can take.
Okay, I already have a few ideas, but not taking care of those tonight. Yes, I think I guess thinking about it, it's like as far as like the coming back to the stone flower, like, does it seem? I know this is a silly question, but does it seem delicate in any way?
Not delicate to the point that by manipulate it you might break it, but maybe it could be damaged if you dropped it on the floor or something like that.
Then Raimi is going to put it, by all accounts, in the safest container that he just recently acquired. Put it into the dwarf pouch, not pouch, but the dwarf container, assuming that it could fit in there.
Yeah, it's small enough. It's roughly the size of a child's palm, a human child's palm. Right now, the flower.
He'll put it in there for now. It's like possibly using the pouches themselves as a bit of a cushioning in case there's some rattling around. But otherwise, basically putting in something that, if something happens to rub up against it, it's not going to immediately shatter.
Okay. And where are you going to place the cube?
I think he's going to put the cube. I think he'll just put his. I think he'll put the cube with the rest of his like belongings, since it is, like made of a very sturdy metal. If anything, he should be more concerned that the cube might break anything else it interacts with.
Okay. All right.
That is his assumption, anyway.
You never know; it might blow up. It reacts to outside stimuli.
If it were gnomish, maybe. Dwarven, no.
It explodes on contact with the sun. All right, so put back everything in, and this is what you got from your expedition and trying to steal for the first time people of the garden.
Also, now that I'm thinking about it, did I get a replacement orb when I came into my room?
Yeah, sure. I would have said a warden would have given you one, but that works also. Find a spare one in your
Okay, I was just like covering all of my bases here because it'd be really awkward if we left on another quest and
Oh no, there's an emergency on that one. Evacuate, evacuate. Where's Remy? All right.
and plus if we're just going by like pattern's sake, you know, if somebody's going to like give somebody an orb, it's probably going to be Raimi. So
all right. Then, with all of your new gifts and toys, you finish your evening.
hospitalized worms.
Yes.
Oh, and hospitalized worms.
And hospitalized worms. You finish the evening watching everything. Fisher is the ideal person to watch over a patient. You know, he falls into a sentry rest and just stares at the patient all night long. And
Be comforted by me.
And so, you all go to sleep, and you have a pretty relaxing night. Comfortable, safe. Tobiyashi, you probably need to go to the bathroom during the middle of the night as your stomach is wanting to repel everything that it has absorbed, either from the upper hole or the lower hole. I'm gonna let you decide.
Don't actually make him decide.
Oh no! I was about to continue. I'm leaving him. I'm leaving this to his imagination.
Okay.
Coward.
And so
Lower.
the night goes pretty well, and it's an ideal place to take our little break before we get back in. It's gonna give a few moments for Remy to come down from his hysterical laugh. All right, so see you all back in 15 minutes, and well, while you're waiting, why not follow us? And then go get something to eat, drink, and go to the bathroom also, just like Tobiyashi. Don't worry, there's not going to be any gnomes where you are that are going to sample everything you leave behind.
There shouldn't be. We're not going to make any promises.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, it can still happen, but usually not. All right, so maybe with a little sound of rain, it helps to go to the bathroom, and I'll see you back in 15 minutes. Bye. Hello and welcome back. As you can see, there is one picture that has grown still. That is because poor audience actually had a problem with his stomach. So he unfortunately had to cut short his session, and he was nearly quite literally dying in front of the camera. But don't worry, he's going to take care of himself, and most likely next week he's going to be his joyful self, minus the tummy ache. And, you know, he did eat a whole bunch of Taco Bell just before the stream, so that's on him. All right. So, let's go back in. As you all wake up in the morning, you find yourself in the hell landscape of no. You are inside the garden, in your rooms, feeling as safe as you did the night before. And with all of the adventures that you've been going through recently, and probably even for audience, who for the first time in a few days is not having a night completely infused with religious turmoil. Probably even him wakes up rested, feeling better. Fisher, you notice that Terry probably went to bed or just fell asleep on the counter a bit earlier than usual, but it happened during the night, and watching him carefully, just making sure that he didn't die in front of you and just fell asleep. You're confident that, okay, he looks like someone who's recovering from severe dehydration, but unless you stress him voluntarily, he's probably going to get through this.
Is the infirmary is it in the knowledge quarter? Or did we go somewhere else?
No, the infirmary is at the edge of the living quarter, right next to the command quarter.
Right. Yeah.
Tissul's condition has not changed. He's still fighting for his life. But that's how things are when you come back from your restful sentry rest. Oh, I'm saying you took a sentry rest. I'm just imagining that you took one to keep watch on Terry throughout the night. But if you actually want to have slept, you can.
No, I'd be
Okay.
doing a sentry rest.
Alright, so morning comes, you all get out of your room. You're greeted by the same familiar surrounding. What do you all do? Please, not everyone at once.
Alright, I'll make this easy because it technically, to a certain degree, involves him. Raimi is going to see if he can find Fisher.
Yeah, I'm in the infirmary place. Your hurt people spot.
You'd probably easily be able to ask Sierra where he is, or show her that you were looking for him. She has gotten used to having to deal with you, and even though you have a more challenging way of expressing yourself, she is an expert logistic officer, so she's getting the hang of it. So if you ask her, she'll probably be able to tell you where he is. Otherwise, you'd have to find a warden and try and signal him that you want to know where Fisher is, as you're not even sure he is in the infirmary.
Yeah, I think he would just take the Sierra option because one game of charades seems easier than the other.
All right, well, as always, she greets you. Hello, this is Sierra.
So Raimi is going to just a minor illusion, a very small version of Fisher.
All right. Are you calling on behalf of Fisher, or are you looking for Fisher?
Raimi holds up 2 talons.
In that case, if he still hasn't moved, he should still be in the infirmary. I believe his worm had a rough time in your very unique adventure.
Raimi says in Fisher's voice, Terry.
Yes. Quite a unique creature. As far as I know, he's still there. The news from Terry are normal. I haven't had any news about fatality in the infirmary, so everything should be quite good. Relatively speaking.
You know what they say about no news.
I know someone who'd say that is a lack of imagination, but probably. Do you know where to? How do you know how to get to the infirmary?
Has Raimi been to the infirmary before?
I don't think so. But if you've explored the living quarters sufficiently well, you probably saw at one point written on a wall infirmary. So
I'm going to take Raimi's passive perception as he vaguely knows where it is.
okay. All right. Anything else you want to know?
Raimi shakes his head.
Very well. Have a nice day. All right. So, takes a few moments as you've only seen the signs of the infirmary and never been in. But eventually you find yourself in the right direction, and just as Fisher is leaving the infirmary, you see him come out of the door. Unless, Fisher, you wanted to stay there and ask a whole bunch of questions to construct nurse.
I think the only one would be how's he doing, and how soon he should be better, if so.
Terry or Tesul?
Terry.
Terry. The answer would be very easy. He's suffered from severe dehydration and a little bit of hunger. So long as you don't traumatize his physical element, he should be fine in a few days. Just keep giving him something to drink and something to eat whenever he needs it. He should be good enough now to move about on his own, although he'll be a little bit slower.
So does he need to stay here, or
You can
should he
always
stay here?
You can always leave him here for a little while. I mean, we'll take care of him as best we can, and then of course he'll have specialized attention. But I also know that most parents would rather not leave their children in hospitals where there are gnomes.
Are you telling me you guys don't have a good enough handle on the infirmary that you can't stop gnomes from messing with injured people?
The problem is not my confidence in our abilities. It's your confidence in our abilities.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, I was confident, and then you brought it up. So, I guess I'll take him.
Very well. I would suggest that you find a way to plug up the hole that he made in his box, or get a new box.
Yeah, it's being made. I'll have to check on the progress.
All right. Well, here you go.
That box has been through some trials.
He hands you back the box. He hands you back the hole he made into the box. And
Did
yep.
Terry actually like cut out a hole, or like is there like a little circle where the hole was that I could like plug it back in with, or did he just like launch out a hole?
No, you get the feeling that you know that he has a row of teeth inside of his mouth. You get the feeling that he pushed on the side to the point where his teeth would touch the wood, and he started to slightly grind like this until it eventually cut a hole.
So like glass cutter, just a hole, and there's a
Yeah,
piece to...
It's not a snug fit in the sense that there is a small line missing. If you just put it back in, eventually it just falls back out. But
I'd honestly just probably leave it for now, and just hold the box.
all right. So the warden nurse puts Terry back in the box gently and looks at you and says, maybe you should also try and avoid combat as much as you can. You know, shaking the box.
Yeah.
Or
I don't know.
at the very
Terry will be
least,
coming with us this time,
at the very least,
depending on when we leave.
think about putting your backpack down before a combat.
I get it. I'm a bad parent. I'll figure it out.
Well, I've never had a child, so I can't speak. to
Exactly. You never think you would either, would you? Because you can't. Literally not possible.
Dang.
And then, ta-da, you drink a weird potion, and then there you go, responsibility.
that. Well, I do work in an infirmary, so that kind of a responsibility I am aware of. And if you doubt,
You know,
if you doubt me, remember, I watch over gnomes.
Well, yeah, like I said, I didn't doubt you until you brought it up. So, you know, you say you're good. I'm sure you do a good job.
Well, then you can both leave whenever you want. It's you all have a clean bill of health.
speaking of which, here's your bill.
Yeah, there's no
67 gold.
forms to fill out, insurance paperwork.
When you say this, well, if you want to fill out forms.
No, thanks, bye. And yeah, I'll leave.
You hear Terranite inside of you say, I think we dodged a bullet here. Well, dodged a...
Projectile.
I was trying to remember the name of the a bolt. I think we dodged a bolt here. Like she kept mentioning, at least I think it's a she. She had a feminine voice. These form might have been made by gnomes.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a whole
Gnomish paperwork.
problem. One of those where you like actually have to read what you're signing because there's definitely going to be some stuff in there, not just like the usual.
It's as thick as a phone book, and you really have to read it.
Like even when you read it, you have no idea what it actually means. Then you got like bring in somebody who like speaks the language.
There's a full page of
no
double.
thanks.
There's a full page of double negative. Okay. All right. So, just as Fisher comes out of the infirmary, you arrive and you see him step out of the door.
Oh, hey, Remy.
Amy gives a talon wave and a rainbow.
How do you do that?
Just blinks.
I mean, obviously, I know how you do it. It's a cantrip. But, like, literally, how do you do it? 'Cause it seems to be one of the few ways people can communicate with Terry, and I feel like I should learn how to do that. We can talk about it later. What are you looking for something?
You know, there are objects which can cast cantrip.
That's boring.
But Remy, it's like remember what he was coming up over there for, and he minor illusions the hilt of the weapon that you received.
The glass steel blade.
Yeah.
I'll pull it out. What do you? Why?
Remy is going to reach into his pocket and pull out his orb of audible.
The Amazon company?
Well, it's not the name, but he decided to call it like that because that's what it reminded him of.
Are we sponsored?
I will.
I'd love to.
Sponsored items. Sponsored items in D&D.
I'd love to. If you want to slip a word to Audible, I wouldn't mind.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, Amazon owns Twitch.
Amazon owns everything.
So you were saying...
Hey, what's Fisher's actual response when he pulls it out?
Oh, what's that?
Ramey's going to minor illusion Kalina.
Oh, that's the thing that with the yeah. What about it? Do I need to do something with it?
Remy opens his beak, and you hear the sound of lightning striking the ground.
You're gonna have to. Does this something to do with? I mean, so like from what you've told me so far, lightning sword. That's what I'm getting. Is that
Remy shakes his
generally
head.
the right direction?
Maybe shakes
We
his
gotta
head,
turn
and
around.
he minor illusions a clock.
Yeah, I'm not following you.
I'm inside of you, Fisher. Yeah, you are running a little slow.
Good one.
I have to make Terranat a little more active. I was slacking with him for a while, but
He gave the required grace period while Terry was first injured, and now it's been a day, so we're good. It's back on his bullshit.
Maybe just thinks a little harder and like kind of like holds up his little orb of audible and just like starts like minor illusioning what appears to be glitter above it.
Magic. Is that what the glitter
Maybe
stands
not.
for? Okay. The second word.
Okay, Raimi is going to do the glitter thing again, but then he's going to minor illusion the clock.
A magical clock.
Raimi shakes his head and then points to his orb and then points to your hilt.
It's old?
Raimi nods.
Yeah? Is that okay? They're both old.
Raimi nods and kind of like does the forward motion with his taloned hand.
They're old.
And then Raimi like makes the lightning sound again.
The lightning. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. That's not. I'm not putting that part.
I don't know why. I just had a.
What about them being old? I mean, sure, it's weird.
Raimi is going to minor illusion the orbs as they looked when they were in the dream.
The are orbs or your
The
orb of audible?
the orbs that we carry around to like contact Sierra in the garden, what have you. How they looked in the dream.
They look different than how they looked in the dream, other than they didn't have a light.
They were completely clear. There was nothing inside.
Okay. Yeah. What does that have to do with them being old?
And then Raimi points to your hilt again, and then points to his orb, the orb of audible. Makes the lightning sound, makes an X sound, or not X sound, an X motion, and then points back to the illusion of the orb.
I just think that the stuff we got from the past is old, but our orbs aren't.
You hear.
And he just hangs his head.
You see a gnome passing by. Says, "Is that a new dance?" Lightning orb cross.
Raimi is going to minor illusion an image of a wilting flower.
Mm-hmm.
and is going to point back again to the Orb of Audible and your hilt.
Well, yeah, these are magic, right?
Raimi nods.
So they don't really care about time passing. But wouldn't rust into pieces
Raimi, like
Make an
Maybe like the-
Arcana roll for that statement.
uh, 19.
19. All right. I was starting to prepare to say, all right, that statement doesn't change, but no. You sort of have this flash in your mind that, oh yeah, no, that's right. Magical object actually do have an expiration date. It's that it's usually just so much longer than the lifespan of any creature that no one ever sees it.
But we found magical weapons in the gnome's place that he was building supposedly for the War of Aberration. So I don't, and they, I mean, I was using that until I got this thing. It wasn't old.
Well, there's a
Like it's-
problem with that statement, but unfortunately, that's not covered by your Arcana roll. That would be history, and it's a detail you forgot. So, the statement, the idea doesn't change, but also you think that you have that also, so you're not sure.
Okay. So it's weird. Is there a point beyond it's weird?
I'm sorry, repeat that? I'm not sure if I understood the question.
Is weird that or are the stuff we got still works, or at least I think it still works.
Yeah, Raimi's
Turn
now
the-
going to
use
just
the hilt.
open up a
Does it still work?
It does, but it seems to have difficulty stabilizing the sword. It appears, the light appears, but then it has those flickering moments, and slowly the light solidifies itself. As if it was starting to lack power.
Oh well, that's not great. That was a good catch. Is that what you were trying to convey to me?
Raimi nods.
Good job. We got there.
Imagine how fast you would have been able to do this if Jorg had been there, a full caster that actually knows a lot about re-energizing magical object.
The first thing I was going to do is just turn it off and on again a couple times. See if it's, the switch is just rusty or if it actually is low battery.
It actually feels like low battery.
Well, that's disappointing.
Well, you did notice that everything that you brought back from then feels like it actually went through time. It actually lived the time difference. So you're basically looking at an object that has been keeping its enchantment for at least 1,500 years.
Do I know how you refuel a magical thing?
It's supposed to be... You've never done it, but you've heard it's supposed to be a fairly simple thing to do. Priests regularly refuel magical object to give them more magic use. Wizard replenishes wands on a fairly regular basis. It's not a hard procedure, you've just never done it. But anyone that has the proper material can probably refuel that. It's probably something you can do in the garden, but it's common enough that you could probably also do it back on your world.
Have you, assuming the same things happened to your orb, have you fixed it?
Raimi shakes his head.
Alright, you want to go figure out how to fix it?
Raimi nods.
Alright.
We did it, folks. Communication has been achieved.
Knowledge corner?
Yay!
This sounds like a library problem.
Yeah, actually, the lower floor is the one where there are the most advanced magical and priestly equipment. Alright, so while you are doing this, maybe Jorg and Tobiyashi, your rooms... I'll say your rooms are on the same floor, so when you get out, you see one another, because I don't want to have to force you to roleplay finding yourselves.
That's half of this stream already.
I mean, I
All
spent
this game
most of
is
my
finding
campaigns
other
trying
people in
to
the
find
group.
myself.
And us trying to figure out what Raimi's saying. That's the game.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I see Jorg and I'm like, oh, but shouldn't audience be out here somewhere? Where's he at?
I don't know, but my stomach hurts.
It's still hurting.
Still burns
Have you
a
drank
little
any
bit.
water?
Mhm. It's gonna burn all the way through.
I see. I guess you have anything to do? Are we leaving today?
Tobiyashi has a headache because he was completely smashed drunk, and Jorg has a stomach ache because he drank something too strong. That's priceless.
We're going on that quest today. I think we got everything done that we needed to.
You don't have anything being made or anything?
Think about it.
No,
Think about it before answering.
I don't.
Okay.
I personally do not. I'm pretty sure. What would I have made? I've got my armor.
Teeth.
Wasn't there something you wanted to really not forget before you left the garden?
Was there something I specifically...
Spell components.
Spell components.
Artifact
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I gotta go get that diamond that I had cut. If I had it.
And where are you going to store so many diamonds?
That would be
Oh, we gotta go get the dimensional space too.
something. That's not on Jorg though. That's audience's thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
Well,
I
he
will
isn't
go-
here. We need to remember to pick it up before we leave.
True. Good point.
It's not really your
Seeing
fault
as-
for forgetting to pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you
I
getting a
gotta go get
teeth sword or
the
something?
diamond. So if any of y'all die, or I, no, if I die, I'm kind of boned. But if you guys die, I can help you.
How many diamonds do you have?
I think it was just. Are they still in my inventory? I had some uncut gems,
I see.
and I don't remember how, or diamonds. I don't remember how many, but I was having them cut so that their value would be.
if you currently have one that is uncut right now, it's because there was a one gem that uncut was worth at least what you needed for one casting, and you really wanted to be sure you'd be able to save everyone if they needed to.
Mm. So yeah, I'll have that. It'll be worth.
I can't wait to see what happened to the dimensional storage. I guess we should start walking over to your diamond or whatever. Your
Yeah, we'll go get that from the jeweler.
Diamonds
Okay.
would be one of the store on the commercial district, but cleaning out the dimensional space would
Okay, go back
be
to the-
research and development.
We'll let audience go get that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, have fun, audience. We can go just to the commercial district and get something nice.
All right. Should we contact Remy and Fisher through the orb before we leave? Tell them where we're gonna meet or whatnot.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a
I'll
good
take out the
idea.
orb. I'll start ringing. Hold it up to my ear. Hello? No, I'm just playing.
Hello? Hello? Who are you calling, Fisher or Remy?
Definitely calling Fisher.
Okay.
Um,
Sierra's answers, and she transfers you to Fisher's orb. And Fisher, you have a ringing in your backpack. Or wherever you store the orb.
Yeah, I'll answer it.
It's Tobiyashi.
Hello.
hello? Hello? You, so we're gonna go.
I can't. Really. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm
yeah.
just messing with you. What's up?
Me and Jorg are gonna go get this cut diamond that he got done in the commercial district.
Congratulations.
Yes, listen, it's a very good achievement. But where are we gonna meet afterwards? Because aren't we leaving today?
Guess yeah, we probably should. I need to go pick something up that I was having that was being made, or maybe pick something up. It might not be ready yet.
All right.
And then audience getting his box. Because I mean that's the really thing. If the box isn't ready, we're not leaving today.
I have no idea. He hasn't been out of his room yet.
Well, you know who's preparing this thing. You could try and call the person in charge of cleaning out the space.
You know what? I'll swing by the gnomes and figure it out. 'Cause I also realized the dude that was messing with the other brick explosives. We should talk to him again. So
Okay.
Get more.
Is Terry doing good? Is he good? Is he fine?
he's getting better,
Okay.
but
That's good.
depending on whether or not his new house is done, I might be trying to figure out if I could leave him here.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'll see you later. Wait, where are we meeting again?
Tavern
Tavern. All right. Sounds good. See you there.
in blank hours. How many hours does that make sense having to do all that?
Walking to the commercial district and then walking back here, I'd say maybe something 2 hours, 2 hours and a half.
I'll give it 3.5 hours.
All right. Bye.
All right.
And we leave. I put the little monkey backpack on the back of Jorg, and I have him on a leash. No, I'm just playing.
I hang up and I look at Remy and I'm like, oh shit. We haven't started messing with our magic items, have we?
Okay.
So how long do I think that's gonna take?
You're not sure? You've never done this before. It's something...
I immediately call Toby back.
I feel a vibration. I'm like, whoa, 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 oh, hello?
Yeah. I forgot Rami and I are in the middle of something that I don't know how long it's gonna take. So when you're done, you hang out at the tavern and we'll find you when we're ready. How's that?
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, bye.
Bye.
Terranad goes inside of you. That wasn't strangely said at all. You and Remy are doing something that you don't know how long it's going to take. I'm sure he understood it perfectly.
Definitely.
Yeah, Toby's a monk, right?
Yes, they are known for their intelligence.
Well, I
Maybe
mean,
he's
not
tilting his
both
head.
smarts, but the other smarts.
Yes, the smarter one is with you, not with them. But don't worry, I'm sure they understood it perfectly, exactly what you meant.
Yeah, I'm sure we're fine as usual.
Yeah.
This party is great at communicating.
Always.
All right, Rami, let's figure this shit out.
All right. So, Jorg and Tobiashi, you go into the commercial district, while Fisher and Remy are also going to the commercial district, just one floor higher. But since you're going through the ring, instead of cutting through the Arboretum, because you want to go to the Knowledge Quarter, and where you are, it's Knowledge Quarter, then Commercial District. It's going to take just a little bit more time. So, Jorg and Tobiashi, what exactly are you looking for in the Commercial District?
The jewelry shop that I left my diamond at to be cut.
Okay. That's easy enough to find. There's only one pillar for jewelry, and there's 3 shop inside the pillar. So if you if you forgot which one it is, you're gonna figure it out in a maximum of 3 tries. So it's fairly
I'm sure I
easy.
can remember. Yeah.
So are you going on the shop that has a whole lot of magical equipment first, or the one that has no magical Takes a few questions, but you find where your gems are, and you've been gone for nearly a week, so they're gnomes. They know what they're doing. So the gems are completely cut.
They're beautiful.
They're beautiful.
He actually has. The gem was large enough that he actually cut a gem worth. How much do you need? I think it's Revivify. I think it's 100. Is that it?
300.
300.
300.
Okay. So you have one that is 300, and he hands you for 50 gold of diamond dust. He says, "Oh, I know it's not a lot, and you probably can't cast anything with just this small amount of diamond dust, but maybe at one point you'll be able to combine it with other diamond dust." And anyway, it was part of the original rock, so it belongs to you. Might as well give it back to you. I'd like to be paid at least 5 gold for the time I put in.
Yeah, that seems fair. I'll hand him 5 gold.
Yeah, I mean, you gave me all of the necessary material, so it's just the time that I took to make it. Don't need to be charged you excessive amount. So
Thanks. And thanks for holding it for a week.
I know you'd be back.
Oh yes.
You still have a room, and no one said anything about you dying. So
Hmm. It's usually a good sign. Now it'll be even more likely for us to come back.
yeah, and if you keep doing things like that, I might actually think about lowering the price. I mean, I did make a fair amount of money. Um, you know what? Maybe you don't need to know the end of this statement.
Say.
Thank you for shopping here.
Yeah, thank you. I hope to do business again.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah. I'll come back if I need more diamonds.
Come back anytime you need. Not
I
just
don't-
diamonds. Maybe you'd like to have a ruby cut or a beautiful quartz. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are some pristine
Audience
ones
might
with.
need some
Like,
nice
You have a party member
gems.
that needs gems. Well, sure, bring them to me.
Yeah.
If you
Well,
have
I
the
will.
gems, I'm not gonna charge you a whole lot of money for cutting something that you bring me. So of course, but of course, if you want to actually buy something that's already been cut and that you don't have on you, well, I have quite a few gems on display, but you'll need to pay the full price.
Of course. Of quartz.
That's the first time I hear that one.
I'm just sitting there like, I'm gonna walk out the door.
When people are
Jordan.
making mineral jokes.
George will wave goodbye, and then Avery will go to bed.
That's okay.
Because I got Yeah. Cool.
That's all right. That's all right. No problem. We're just gonna jump to Fisher and Remy and finish with them. So
Sounds good.
You're not gonna miss anything. All right. Well, have a good night.
Good night.
And I'm gonna switch you to your art.
I guess I'd start walking. No, I'm not gonna walk over there. I don't want to die.
So you are not going to walk to the research and development quarter to meet up
Yeah.
with Fisher and Remy when they get there?
Yeah, I will. Fuck it.
All right. Well, meanwhile, Fisher and Remy, you make your way to the knowledge quarter quite easily, and at the beginning of the day, you find quite a few wardens. You find a few half elves. Anyone in particular you want to find, or you just grab the first person you see?
Yeah, just who here knows about recharging magic stuff?
I have a feeling there's a lot of people that raise their hands.
That doesn't explode. A few people put their
Yeah.
hands back down.
You see all the gnomes putting their hands back down. But the wardens definitely can help you with this. Their construct. So,
Well, yeah.
what are you looking to re-energize?
I'm having some performance issues. I'll
I
pull out
heard
the
it's
sword.
common for people over 40 among humans.
Yeah.
And
I'll
I
pull out
believe
the
you
sword.
are way older than 40.
Mhm.
Pulls out a pencil that
physically,
says,
yeah.
Lordy, Lordy, I'm over 40.
I'll pull out the sword, show how it flickers into existence.
All right. Well, the first question is it supposed to do this? If not,
No, it's supposed to do it a lot faster.
very well. So a classic case of enchantment slowly falling apart.
Enchantment ED.
Very well. It's probably not going to be hard fixing this, but follow me. I'll get someone who actually can do the procedure properly. Gets you to the lowest floor and ask another warden to come. The warden arrives. Of course, you don't exactly know which warden it is because they all look alike, with the exception of Illithane that doesn't wear gloves. So
Scandalous.
sorry.
How scandalous.
He's so daring. No gloves. Okay. You want to re-energize everything. It's quite old. I don't think that these objects were meant to function for this many years. It shows quite a lot of aging, but shouldn't be very difficult to put everything back together. If you have a few hours, if you have something else you need to be doing, just leave it here and come back when you're done. They should be fine.
Oh.
It's
Wait,
just re-solidifying a permanency spell. It's as long as it hasn't lost its consistency and its essence, it's fairly easy to do.
Yeah, then I think we'll do that. Right, Amy? Is that good? That work?
Amy nods.
All right. Well, leave your object here, and I'll get on it right away.
Yeah, I'll give him the hilt.
And Remy?
And hands over the Orb of Audible, which I will continue to call it till the end of time.
All right. So
The funny part is that's an English word, so they can't possibly pick it.
Oh, they'll try.
believe me, they'll try. All right. So the objects are left on the table, and they should be ready in a few hours.
Well, then off to the shopping district.
All right. Sorry. Take a small detour, but eventually you get there. Tobiashi, you still have to wait a little bit in the research and development quarter. Of course, when you arrive, there's always a gnome greeting you, asking you if you're here for something in particular or you're just looking around.
I'm looking for my friends. It's like a.
Oh,
There's,
that's a tall order. How long have they entered here?
I'm not sure. Maybe like. They would have got here 2 hours ago, maybe.
Oh, so it's a recent disappearance. All right, I'll find someone to find them.
Okay. So one is a warforged, a sentient warforged, and he has like a hat on. Yeah, he's a construct, but he has a hat on, and it's very jaunty. And then, has Remy gotten his coat back?
I don't think so, but he can.
It's on my to-do list.
Okay.
It's a normal
And,
tailoring thing, so it's probably very easy to.
Looking for a very, very mute King Coon too.
Right. I don't remember them entering this place today. Are you sure they're missing?
Well, now that I see that they're not here, I'm pretty sure they are missing.
Okay. Well, that solves the problem. Next one. How can I help you?
Okay. Give me 1 second. I gotta make a phone call. I turn around and then I'll call Fisher on the orb.
So, Fisher, your orb rings as you are maybe, I'd say, 45 minutes away from the boundary of the commercial district.
What's up?
Hey, I lost Jorg. Don't know where he went, but I'm looking for you guys. And
Wait, how did you lose Jorg? You were with him,
he
weren't
was
you?
talking about getting some kind of crystal for not being able to perform well. I don't know. It was something. All I know is that I'm looking for you guys now. He said he'll meet at the tavern if we ever get lost. So I'm expecting him to be there. But I'm at the research and development district now, looking for you guys. You guys still here?
What do you mean still? We weren't.
Have you? You're not. You didn't come here?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll wait for you here.
Okay.
Maybe. Wait, should I?
Well,
yeah.
we're almost in the shopping quarter, so.
Alright,
I mean, I
I'll
guess
try
if
to-
you just want to come downstairs and join us, but we got some stuff to pick up before we go mess with the gnomes.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'll meet you guys. Bye.
All right. So, and are your friends all right? I've heard you saying
Yeah.
you lost another one. How long has this one been missing?
Lost
long
it.
did it
We
take-
literally just walked away.
Like 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's a recent disappearance.
Yeah, I think he's fine though.
Oh, okay. Well, if you think he's fine, the,
Yeah. I'll be back with my friends later. Bye. I turn around and walk away.
Oh, good. You hear them say something in Gnomish, but I don't think you understand Gnomish, so you don't know what they just said.
Don't.
It takes a few moments, but you go down, and roughly 40 minutes later, Fisher and Remy sees you at the bottom of the stairs that go back up to the research and development floor.
All right. Hey, Fisher, Remy. Hey. I have arrived. So wait, what do you guys have to go do?
Well, I gotta pick up Terry's new house if it's done yet, and I think Remy might or might not have to pick something up.
All
Maybe
right,
holds
sounds
up 2
good.
talons.
All right, and then yeah, we'll just go and get audiences. Backpack
Space.
and then yeah.
Okay, his personal space. I got it. All right.
Audience doesn't have personal space. Oh, no, okay. You mean...
Well, that's why we gotta go get it for him.
Yeah.
All right, so you go back up and find yourself in the marvelous floor of the commercial quarter where everything is being researched and developed. As always, you are greeted by the familiar sounds and excitement of this floor. You, Fisher and Remy, you see the gnome at the initial counter. Here you are again. Have you lost someone again?
I thought we were going to the shopping quarter first.
You want to go do shopping first?
Well, to pick up. I mean, I guess I might be remembering wrong. I thought Terry's box was being made by a non-gnome.
That's research and development.
Somebody in the shopping quarter, but I guess I was wrong about that. Yeah, never mind then. We are in the right place.
Okay. So the
and
question
then we'll-
stands. She looks at the gnomish woman, looks at you, Tobias, and have you lost someone else?
No, I found people.
Good. Were they the one you were looking for?
Yeah, they were. They were.
Well, that's even better. So, what can I do for you?
There was a dimensional storage space that was getting cleaned out.
Yes, I believe they're almost done.
Cool. Then there was also I had I guess it was kind of also a dimensional storage space, a small room that was being designed
Okay.
to house a worm, and then
I haven't been made aware of that one, but
I'll go find him.
okay. I think you're getting used to how everything works in here, so I'm not gonna waste too much time trying to give you safety measure that you should follow. All right. Anything else?
Oh, I'm looking for balls. I mean, I'm looking for smoke bombs. Here, anybody making smoke bombs?
I'm sure they make bombs that smoke.
Well, it's a smoke bomb that only I could see through. They're like colorful, you know.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. You'd have to find the one that you commission to have them done. But in regards to bombs and smoke bombs, yeah, I'm pretty sure someone is working on something like that somewhere. Actually, there's probably several people working on something like that. There's always the shop also. You know, when something is done and they believe they can sell it to a lot of people, they actually ship it down to the shopping floor. So you might be able to find it there also.
All right, I'll check up here and then go down there if it's not up here.
Okay. I guess he's looking
Excuse me
for his
while I get that
balls, huh?
Tobiashi quiz in here.
Remy, the gnome comes next to you, and as Tobiashi leaves, I guess he's looking for his balls, huh?
All right.
It is like Remy nods.
All right, so, and
Gotta-
what can I do for you? The gnomes asked for you, Remy. Or are you just saying,
In
I'm
the-
waiting for a friend?
Remy shakes his head because
Well, all right. In that case, there's a very, very, very strong chance that your friend is going to be back very soon. But, you know, you never know.
Remy's going to minor illusion the sign of 5 feet, then minor illusion the sign of 3 feet.
Is that all we have? I thought we had more.
And on that ominous note,
So, Fisher, you probably have. We get the sweat drop appearing next to Remy when he thinks about that. You've been through the hell of figuring things out in the Gnomish district and the commercial district, especially the research and development, often enough that I won't make you go through all of the encounters every single time.
Starting to get the hang of it.
Yeah,
Good.
you sort of know when to approach someone and when not to approach someone. You notice that someone's working apparently on some sort of sword. That one, you think it's safe to walk by them. But there's another one that you're not sure what it is, but it looks like food.
It's like the point in the time loop movie when the person starts getting the hang of when everything's going to happen, so they just kind of casually walk through and dodge the stuff that they know is going to blow up or whatever.
You see that food, and so you walk away and go and keep on. And after dodging like this, a few people figuring out you could actually get close to this one and this one, you find the person that was working on the box that you asked. He recognizes you as you're arriving. Oh, hey, hello!
How's it going? Both, you and the project.
Everything's going fine, and it's moving along. You haven't been gone very long. Was there a very important date that it needed to be completed on, or can I make sure to do it properly every step of it?
Properly would be better.
Okay then. Well,
Yeah.
you're
If it's not done, that's cool.
no, you're a bit early. I mean, we do have to add in extra dimensional space. You asked for something to add air. You needed something on which he could write. You wanted something that would give food and drink, and you wanted to be able to watch through the different rooms that he have. It's quite a lot of work.
You have like a approximate.
I don't know. I'd say maybe come back in 2 to 3 weeks. We should have it finished by the end of of your month. Our months are different than yours, but we should have it done by the end of the month. Maybe a few days more than that at most.
Yeah, quality is more important than time.
Well, yeah, someone's going to be living in it.
Yeah.
I always look at this in this way. If I'm not willing to live in it myself, then why would someone else be willing to live in it by itself?
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people think that I'm willing to take a lot more risk than they are, but still, it's the same principle.
At least you are thinking about it.
Yeah.
Some people are just like, this is for somebody else. I don't care.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll be back in 2 to 3 weeks then.
All right. Well, take care. In the meanwhile, it would be a shame if you died, and I would have done this for nothing.
Well, if I do die, I think I might actually be leaving its occupant here. Not here, but in the garden somewhere. So if I do die, and, it might still get used.
Okay. Oh, that's always good. That's always good. Make sure that it has enough money on the side to buy it.
Yeah.
It's a considerable amount of resource. So
I'll make sure something. How much is it gonna be?
I'm not sure. There's actually quite a lot of things that we're doing with this. Let's start. Let's start with at least 1,000 gold, and it's almost surely going to be more than that. But start with that. It's at least going to be a down payment if you should die and he needs to pay it. He's at least going to be able to live in it. I mean, there are people in some world that actually buy houses and keep paying them for 40 years.
Seems ridiculous.
I know.
Why wouldn't you just
It's completely
buy
ludicrous. Yeah.
If anything, it seems like,
Or you build it yourself,
I mean, if you could have, right? Like, there's got to be like some weird predatory behavior on behalf of, the person selling the house.
Maybe. I hadn't thought about it like that. That makes actually a whole lot of sense.
Because, like, if you don't care about the person that's buying the house you made or own, then like, why would you just outright sell it to them when you could like kind of sell it to them, but also have them keep having to buy it from you?
Yeah. A desire to possess the people living in the house also. Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, here, do you want the down payment now, or can I like leave it?
Oh yeah, sure, Mario. Yeah, if you have it right now, I'll take it.
I'll hand them 100 platinum.
Wow, thanks.
Damn.
All right. You can be sure that your friend is gonna have a house to live in, no matter what happens. And we'll figure out the rest of the payment if you die by then.
Sounds good.
All right. Well.
In this
I'll
case,
spend
that's
it
why
all
you
in one
don't buy
place.
real estate from Triton.
All right. Well, have a nice day and see you whenever you can visit.
Alright. Off to the storage space.
All right. So, Tobiyashi, did you stay behind with Remy, or you immediately went down to the shops?
Yeah, I'd go to the shops first, I guess.
Okay.
I'll go to the shop and see if I could find him.
Probably be in some sort of equipment type shop, and it would probably take you. Roll an investigation. It's not to know if you find it, but how long you take to find it.
Natural 1. It takes me
Not
3
leaving
days
today.
to find it.
All right. Well, apparently Fisher and Remy are gonna find you before you find it. So.
All right.
So.
I almost want to make this joke, but I almost want to feel like it's actually a legitimate way to find something in this place. But I just want to imagine that Fisher and Raimi just find Tobiyashi just like lifting a rock that he finds on the ground. It's like, nope, not here.
No, it's a crate. No, not in that crate.
Not in this bathroom. Oh, sorry, ma'am.
He looks at all of you. What? They're gnomes. They could be hiding anywhere. All right, so Fisher comes back and gets to you, Remy, as you're still watching all of this bustling and walking around and hearing explosions, people run, people. Apparently, they're having fun. Surprisingly enough, most human would consider this a hazardous place of work, but they seem to enjoy it.
They got that workplace healthcare down on lock, so they don't have to fret about
And they
workplace
quickly,
injuries as much.
they quickly clean it up when OSHA arrives.
Yeah.
So,
Needs OSHA, and you can just get revivified if shit goes wrong.
No, the company in this world is called not called OSHA. It's called Oh Shit.
Yeah.
or oh shit, 3 dots. For some reason, every time you try and say it, you hear a beeping sound. You can say oh shit, but if you're looking at the word and you say oh and you hear beep, oh shit, oh e. Magic. So it takes a moment, but Fisher eventually comes back, but not before someone offered you some little toffees. Do you take them? It's a gnome that offers
Fine,
them to
yes. Obviously.
Here.
you.
Whatever it is already going to be bad. How much worse can it get, right?
So you take one. Do you eat it, or I don't know? Do you give it to Remy?
No, I won't do that, and I won't eat it.
You just put it in your pocket and keep on walking.
I'll eat it.
You eat it right now or later?
As we're going on the move.
You're slowly munching on this toffee, and it's not that bad. You can't identify the exact flavor. Now it feels like it's slightly salty, a bit burnt, but not in a bad way. There's something crunchy inside of it. It's not that bad. But when you arrive, Remy, you notice that Fisher has a different color. The stone's
color
elements on him actually has the same color as the toffee.
And he just tilts
with
his
that?
head.
What's with the? I was about to say before you even said it. What's with the head tilt? Stop.
Actually, this is the interesting part is that like Raimi actually can act as somebody's mirror, as he just minor illusions exactly what he's seeing.
I look down. I'm like, oh, that's what color is it? That's what color is this toffee?
It's a toffee that is a very, very light brown color. Nearly caramel. Nearly very golden light caramel color.
It's not too far off my natural hue.
And Remy, you can't help but to think that Fisher smells a little bit like a toffee also.
Oh, he's transforming into toffee.
Oh, like what happened to Jorg, but with toffee. I know, I can see that happening.
You know what? Raimi's beak is going to possibly get uncomfortably close to Fisher's exterior, and he's gonna lick it.
Oh goodness! I would, if you were gonna say anything else, I was gonna say, could you make a wisdom saving throw to resist a weird magical pull to lick him? But since you're saying this without,
We're all on the same page here.
you feel this pull to lick it, and you just give in to it, and
Well, that's the first time that's happened.
it tastes good. It's a good toffee.
What are you doing there, bud?
Raimi just looks up at you, Fisher, and in a very familiar voice, but you have to wonder about the context of where he heard this. Wow, babe, you taste delicious.
Interesting. Okay. Next time, just I'm pretty sure you're supposed to ask, before you lick somebody.
Imagine Toby.
Obviously, you probably have more
experience.
experience with that than I do, but it just seems like one of those things.
In that same voice, you're irresistible.
Well, I mean, I know that, but it is nice to hear it every once in a while. Can we, get back to what we were doing?
So for your information, Fisher, the effect is gonna last 2 days.
That's good.
Like that axe body.
It's gonna have people just licking me. Just,
You might think about wearing a cloak. So, after this interesting moment, and realizing that a lot of gnomes are also looking at you while
oh,
you're
it's
moving.
pretty easy to stab somebody with a sword when they're trying to lick you. So maybe I might figure out how to weaponize it.
Self-defense.
You had the feeling that the range is not all that big, but still. So, it takes a moment, but you find a place where they were working on your dimensional storage. And when you arrive, you see the gnomish woman that was working on it. I believe it was Keepa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Keepa White Eyes. And as you arrive, well, good, you're all here. Well, at least half of you are. What's that smell?
Someone's handing out taffy.
Oh, all right.
What a beautiful chocolate man.
I'll have to go look for him, her, it, something. So everything is ready, and why do I want to lick you?
Like I said, the taffy. I'd rather you not though.
Oh, well, that's an interesting side effect. Okay. So.
Unless it's not the taffy, but that would be something for you to think about for yourself. So.
Well, yeah. Now I can't stop thinking about it, but that might be because of the smell. It keeps having a pull on my. All right, so the space is complete. You see the effect of the barrier, just as if it was a curtain just billowing in the wind. Everything is done, I think. And you see another gnome on the other side with a transparent plane. That yeah, I think everything's good. He looks at it, and then you have something you didn't expect. You see a kobold sticking its head out of the dimensional space, looking around, and then start walking away on the top of his toe, tip top.
Tippy tiptoes.
Yeah, exactly. And you hear him say, "I'm free," and he just skips away.
What?
You get the
Wait, no. You come back.
You get the
Wow.
you get the gnome with the plane. Sorry, and he changed a few
Move
things.
that.
Sorry, it was connected to something else. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. I can fix that. Maybe someone could try and make sure he doesn't go too far away. Thanks. All right. Here you go. He pulls the curtain.
guys.
Yeah, that's the that's the storage. Everything's fine. And he smiles. You feel it's a bit of forced smile.
I stick my hand in there. Is it super cold?
No, actually, everything's back to normal. When you pull the curtains out, you can see that it's not only been emptied, the shelves have been placed back in. There's a small desk at the end of it. All of the weapons you had have been replaced in an orderly fashion in weapon racks. Any potion that you have been placed on the shelves. You didn't get the impression someone cleaned the floor really well. It's nearly waxy on it, but a good waxy. Everything else has been stored. The barrels of blood. the scales, the tooth. Well, I think it's a, it looks like a snake hook. The entrails, they've all been stored. We weren't sure where we were supposed to place the body, so it's still inside. But we, just in case you wanted to bring people in, and so they're not uncomfortable, we placed a minor illusion on it, so it doesn't show. But here, and he goes at the end of it and just taps where it feels like it's empty, but you hear tuk, tuk, tuk. He's just under that illusion.
Just ignore it for the rest of the campaign now.
We kept him frozen just in case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was probably good. So I got some good stuff. Please, looks nicer than when it started.
Yeah, well, we had a feeling that something blew up in there at one point, so we thought that we just. But if you want it back the way it was with the scorch mark,
this is
some
good.
people like this feel, but.
No, I think this is great.
All right. We kept the brown moss as payment, like you said we could. But everything else, the pieces of a creature, they're all in storage. If you want something done with them, you can simply, go ask the relevant person, depending on what you want done with this, and they'll do it. And if you want to sell pieces of that creature, we will gladly buy it. I'd say go to the lower level of the commercial quarters, where it's all resource management and storing. Everything's there. If you want to sell things, if you want to use things to buy, and so on and so on.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, always is.
Life is always. It's one of its greatest quality.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a gnome in the distance saying, "And we got gas!" Don't pay any attention to him.
Yep, no, I was not going to ask. I don't want to know. All right, yep, nice, thanks.
Well, you're welcome. He
close
closes
up.
it, gives you the crystal back. Then you keep saying, "So, has anyone warned the warden about the kobold?" All right, thanks. You don't want to have anybody just walking around. They could get injured.
Mm-hmm.
And they suddenly hear a very shrill scream off in the distance.
Don't mind that.
All right, and so you have your things back, and anything else you'd like to do in this quarter? On this floor?
Yes, but I don't want to take any more time. Stretch things out any longer.
Just tell me what it is, and
sword from Big Tooth.
all right, I have a sword made. All right, no problem. Well, that actually would probably be something you could go to the lower level to ask, and there it's more dwarves and half elves that you have there.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, we'll do that.
So it's going to be a bit more serious. But all right, I'll keep it in mind. You also had scales, you had entrails, you had blood. So they're all things that you can either sell to merchant for money or favor, depending on what it is that you sell. Or have an armor, make an armor out of the scales, shields, things like that.
I don't remember what Sam may or may not have wanted.
That's all right.
From any of that,
Well, I'm
so.
gonna leave this element with you, and for the next session, just tell me what do you want to have made with all of this. Just keep it in storage there. What you want to have made for weapons, armor, equipment that might be relevant to this, and frost relevant, either to make frost damage or resist frost damage. They'd be component that would be very useful for all those things. All right. So, other than that, do you have another reason to stay on that level?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, then, in that case, we are going to end the stream with Fisher, Remy, Tobiyashi, and probably Jorg reunited on the floor as Jorg started following Tobiyashi because he was just moving about in circle and apparently he got lost. So
I love the walking away from somebody that was just hanging out somewhere and then saying they got lost. It's like they didn't move.
They
left
lost.
and forgot where they were.
Half full, half empty. Who knows?
And eventually, knowing that Tobiyashi wanted to find a place where they could sell smoke bombs, you went down and you started thinking about, where could we find such equipment? And if you want to roll an investigation roll for me to know if you actually find them or they find themselves before.
An 8. I rolled an 8.
No, I meant Remy or Fisher. You already rolled.
I got a 14.
All right. So you think you can find your way to where Tobiyashi wants to go. And it just so happened that it actually is what happens. You eventually see him walking toward you, and we're gonna... Oh, this is gonna be fun. We end our stream with Jorg and Tobiyashi, and who knows, maybe audience arriving at the same time. And starting to smell this intriguing aroma of toffee as they're all walking closer to Fisher and Remy. And I guess we'll see next episode who else in the party tries to lick Fisher.
Excuse me for a moment while in the background I just start playing Candyman by Christina Aguilera.
All right, well, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a pleasant evening. And I hope you're going to be back next Wednesday, or next Friday. And for those of you staying until this ends, yes, there was a stream last Friday, but because of technical difficulties, it started late. That is why it did not start at the proper time. And it's your fault if you didn't come back, but it's also my fault because I was trying something different and did not know that some side effect could include technical difficulties for the stream. So it's also a bit my fault. I'm sorry. But there was a stream last Friday, so there is, well, if you're watching this on Friday, there was a stream. You just finished watching it. But here we go. So, hope you'll be there next Wednesday or Friday if you're watching the rebroadcast. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream, and we really, well, at least I do. I'm not going to speak for the other players, but I really enjoy it when you support us, either by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. But you can also make a donation, become a Patreon, because we have a Patreon page, although there's no one there currently, but we have one, and every single episode up to today, except the 7th episode, because there was a really bad audio problem with that one, so fortunately it's not there. But every single episode are there on Patreon and YouTube. But you can become a Patreon or subscribe here on Twitch. But if you can't do any of those, well, simply spreading the word about us, our channel, our campaign also helps tremendously. And that is it. I'm going to put a little bit of music so you can listen to something while the stream is ending. Let's go with a thunderstorm. We had a thunderstorm yesterday, so. Alright. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.